can already see my comment section cancelling me.
I will do vocals in bed. Hello lovelies and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amity Gilmour and this is my life. Today's video I thought we'd sit down and talk about how I am adapting with my health and how I'm continuing specifically with my music. I will do a separate video about how I continue with my business, but today we're focusing on the music side. Can I just say today has not been an easy day. I've been throwing up. My gut is just really bad. It's kind of settled enough now. I've been asleep pretty much from 2 to 5. I tried to do some work this morning and then I caved, but that's okay. We need sleep sometimes. But we're gonna actually sit down and talk about how it's not easy. And I want to make sure that in this video I am abundantly clear that it is not easy. But first, it's Girls Brigade night, so let's go. Sometimes we cry and no one could blame us if we tried, but we still had a way out.
Hi, so quick dinner check-in. I have this for dinner. This is a Pluto pop, and I can already see my comment section cancelling me in multiple different countries for what I call this, but this is what we call it, a Pluto pop. Different countries call it different things. Don't come at me, but actually, yes, come at me. I want to hear you guys cancelling me over a Pluto pop. That would be really funny. But also, I'm just interested to know what it's called in other countries. What do you guys call this? Anyway, I'm in Girls Brigade now. I'm just gonna have a rest before the girls get here, but I'm gonna have to say goodbye now, because no more filming. See you when I get home. I'm back home. I had a really wonderful time at Girls Brigade and now I'm just enjoying the juice because I'm just not feeling 100%, and the whole time I was on the verge of throwing up. I haven't thrown up yet and I hope I don't. I have no regrets in going out though, because I really did need to just get out of the house, and I've actually been trying to get out every single night because my mental health has been suffering quite a bit. Don't worry, we're working on that. And I think partly it has to do with medication I was on. I think triggered something because I know it's a medication that triggers that for me, but it was a different one, but same type. Anyway, doesn't matter because now we're home and we're going to discuss the topic of today's video. And that is how I adapt in order to continue to pursue a music career, even with all the issues of health going on in my life. To give you a bit of background, the last couple of years, not this year, but everything before, I was almost pretty much full steam ahead with my music. About 2 years ago, that's when I flew to Brisbane and was able to have a session in the studio, which was really cool. I found that to be so fun. I'll link that video up here if I remember. I was traveling to do music and whatnot, and then the next year, which was last year, was incredibly insane because I had so many opportunities. We released 2 songs. One of them did incredibly well. I just thought it was the most exciting year because I was being given opportunities that was so incredible. I was meeting people within the industry that I looked up to. Everything just seemed to be happening. I was going to music festivals. I was literally never home. I was traveling up and down the coast, playing at all sorts of different places, venues and festivals. I loved it so much. After last year had ended, I was keen for that to continue this year. However, during the end of last year, my health did start to take a bit of a turn. I was actually still able to manage going from concert to concert, although I was at times being in hospital and then leaving the next morning after being discharged and flying out or driving wherever after just being in hospital for a week to do some of these gigs. But I was still able to manage it, so I was really grateful for that. But this year, everything just came crumbling down in that sense. The difficulty this year is I'm having cerebral vasospasms and vasospasms elsewhere, which means that my arteries are spasming for some reason and constricting and cutting off circulation to my major organs. This includes my brain, this includes my heart and my lungs. So it has been incredibly difficult to do anything. Although it may seem on my YouTube channel that music has taken a bit of a step back into the back burner, it actually hasn't. Yes, it's not as full on as the year before, but I have been maintaining my music
with different particular strategies that I have been able to come up with. I'm still learning as we go ahead, but I'm about to give you 5 ways in which I adapt in order to continue this music career. So let's get into it. Number 1, focusing on getting ahead. What does this mean? Well, earlier this year, I released 1 song, and then after that, we made the decision not to release anything else for the rest of the year. No concerts, no festivals, nothing. This is because, first of all, I've been extremely ill and I've been in and out of hospital, and every single time we were going to release a song, we still had so much work to do, and there was a lot of setback. For instance, when my song Cry came out, I had to push the date of release back so much, to the point I think that really messed with the actual overall success of the song. Mind you, I also released this song from hospital after I had surgery. I think after the difficulty of that release, we decided that this year we were going to be focusing on getting ahead by releasing nothing and getting 5 songs done this year, ready to release next year. And I think this is a much better way to do things. In trying to get ahead, we are more prepared for anything that gets thrown my way, because at this moment there is a lot that is being thrown around. So getting ahead it is. Number 2 is location. And what I mean by location is location of recording music and doing a lot of this stuff. Now, I will admit that location is so much more easier in today's age, in 2025, because so much can be shared around online within your production team and whatever team it is. I don't feel the need anymore to be running around to 100 million different places just in order to do things. Yes, there is still that to an extent, but there is still a lot that I can do from home. As I mentioned, Pieces and Healing were recorded professionally in a studio where my producer is up in Brisbane. That was really an incredible experience, but from that experience, I was able to actually learn how the recording process works. And it wasn't until after I got home we realized that traveling might be a bit hard. So I got the setup at home good enough so I could then record the vocals and send them to my producer. My producer could work on them. We could be putting things back and forward online. So that meaning I don't have to travel to a studio anywhere. I don't even have to travel somewhere around the local area. When I'm feeling like I'm up to it, I can literally just set up my closet, like over there where I've got like sound set up, my mic and everything, and I can do it with a few vocals and then edit it later in bed that night. And so utilizing location is really important. If I'm doing interviews with other people for their podcasts or even radio, I don't always have to travel nowadays. We can do things via Zoom or whatever platform they use for interviews. So that is also very helpful in today's age for someone like me who finds traveling, even within her local area, a bit of a struggle. Number 3 goes without saying, but take breaks and don't push yourself. This is probably because I tried pushing myself to the point that it was so hard that I ended up hating everything I was doing. And this is not just music. This is YouTube. This is so many different things. So if I need to take a break, I need to listen to my body and take that break. If I'm having a particular hard day, that's usually the day that I do music recordings, what I'll do is I'll probably just sleep and try and trade that for another time during the week to do music recordings. Now, mind you, talking about the condition that I'm struggling with at the moment, the vasospasms, being horizontal really is difficult for that. So what I will do sometimes is I will do a few vocal takes up in my closet and then lay down for a bit and do some more. Other things I'll do, if they're not going to be official vocals, like vocals that aren't going to be used in the finished product, just guide vocals for my producer to like build the track around, then I will set up my microphone here and I will do vocals in bed. I don't need any soundproofing, nothing needs to be super fancy, because these vocals are literally just being sent through so my producer can build the production around it, and then later on that production gets sent back to me, and then I will do the official vocals, which are done in my studio just behind here. This can also be said for performances or stuff which I haven't done this year but that I was doing last year. I was taking breaks. I was taking nana naps, especially festivals, and I tried to utilize rest as much as I could. I wanted to see other artists and support them, and I did try my best, but I also in order to look after myself and be able to actually get up on stage, I needed to go into whether it was a green room, which one of the festivals had a green room, or whether it was back at like my accommodation. I would usually sleep or have a rest in either the afternoon if I wasn't performing until night. I just work around it, especially depending on the weather. If it was a really sunny, hot day, I would try really hard to stay inside on the air conditioner until I was able to go perform. And then if there was particular artists at that festival that I also wanted to see and support, then I would also go to those particular artists. But I would like stay for probably like 1 or 2 songs, usually by the end, so then afterwards I could like basically go and say like, well done, you did a good job, and then go back, rest, come back when I needed. Number 4 is utilizing social media and the online world, like I'm doing right now with you guys. Trying to pursue a music career is really hard, but with social media now, we can be able to actually promote our music and build this community. I have really deliberately utilized social media to the best that I can. I can't get out there and depend on other medias as much because a lot of the time that requires traveling. Also, when I'm well enough, it's really important to network in person with people. When I am not, like this year, and I can't network as much, utilizing social media to network, and I'm not just talking about like commenting on someone's post or something, but like being in other artists and other people in the industry's DMs and talking to them and giving them opportunities, them giving you opportunities, and then emailing back and forth. Like I have connections within the music industry, some of which I made in person, particularly at a conference and other things. And then I have actually made some connections online as well, which has been really good. I think the thing to say here is you can't fully depend on making connections with other people on social media, particularly people within the music industry, but it is a big part of it. So when you're feeling well enough to be able to make connections outside, but when you can't, make sure you are utilizing social media, because social media is very vital these days in promoting anything, not just music, everything. Did you know that the majority of my streams from Healing was actually from you guys? That's incredible, because the day that I released Healing, you guys were right there listening to it that day. I think I did like live stream on, it was either YouTube or Instagram. I forget which one it was, but it was so incredible to see. Within the first couple of hours, we got to 100 streams. Like that was just incredible. I can't stress this enough. Utilize social media, particularly shorts, like YouTube shorts, TikTok, and Instagram reels and stories. For me personally, I found Instagram stories was like really good. And for YouTube, shorts was like incredible. TikTok like had a bit of luck, but like I haven't had too much luck with TikTok. I would definitely say probably the most streams probably came from YouTube if I was to guess, and then it would probably be Instagram and then TikTok. But I am just so grateful for every one of you guys, and you guys literally enable me and help me to continue with doing this, even though I'm unable to be physically present at music events this year. This brings me to my 5th and final way in which I am adapting in this time, and that is kind of like 2 things in one. First is vocal workouts and treatment. Basically just looking after my body so I can keep it the best I can in order to continue this. That looks like doing vocal workouts whenever I can, warming up my voice before I sing, singing around the house like much as I can, like keeping that voice active and warming up. Also treatment. Obviously I am not well, and so I've been trying really hard to keep up on treatments as much as I can so that I can stay as healthy as I can in order to be able to continue doing what I love. I am limited in how healthy I can keep myself. Like I am trying really hard, and sometimes it feels like no matter how hard I tried, like nothing works. Things are still working to an extent, and I'm still grateful about that. I have not been able to do as much as I have the last couple of years, but if I just keep on looking after my body and listening to my body like I did this year and choosing not to release any music apart from Cry, do no concerts and no shows so that I can literally just focus on myself. I am recording music, but we're not doing releasing, we're not doing any of that, so we can just focus on what needs to be done this year. And partly that was also because I didn't know what was going on with my health and we didn't know if there'd be anything that could treat it. Now I've got to a point where we know what's wrong, we don't know how much treatment there is that can be done, but I start a new medication for treatment tomorrow, so I'm really hoping that that really helps with the vasospasms. But I think now that I actually know what's going on, even if there is no treatment, I'm just gonna have to adapt even further, and that is really difficult. And I just want to be honest and let you guys know that I was always saying there is never going to be a time where I am medically unfit to continue, because I'm just going to keep pushing forward. But I think I've got to a point where I understand that there probably might be a time where I medically am not fit enough to continue, and that's scary and that does scare me. But I think like the time I have now while I'm still able to do it is important, and when it comes to the point where I can no longer do it, that will be really hard. But I want to make sure that I'm doing the most I can now in order to make up for the time that comes when I can no longer do it. Anyway, that was my video for this week. I hope you liked it. I am thinking about doing the same video, but in terms of my small business. Love you guys so much. I'm so grateful for this community. As for now, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Love you guys. God bless.
Because it's trapped, but yeah, go see, I just need the faith. That was true, then I'd be healing. If that was true, then I'd be